I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. No, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen.
Did you speak with Netanyahu about this?
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it. Whether I spoke to him or not, I did. But I'm not allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. There's been enough. It's time to stop now, okay?
Israel is currently annexing the West Bank, but the president of the United States would like you to believe that he's not going to let it happen. It's been happening. It will continue to happen. And the American president, who right now happens to be a Republican, but it would be the same if it were a Democrat, is going to be a good boy and let Israel do as it pleases with the resources being provided by the American people. That's the reality of the situation. But let's entertain what Trump is claiming here for a second. So apparently on Tuesday, Trump also met with the leaders of Qatar, Jordan, Turkey, Pakistan, Egypt, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and others. And the whole point of this meeting was to, I'm sure, discuss all sorts of foreign policy as it pertains to the Middle East and Israel. And per the Wall Street Journal, an Arab official briefed on the meeting said that though Trump spoke vaguely at times, he was clear that he would try to prevent Netanyahu from annexing the West Bank. So he had said this during the meeting with Arab leaders, and then later he proceeded to answer a reporter's question and say, yes, I'm going to stop Netanyahu and the Israeli government from stealing more land, even though I have facilitated the opportunity for them to do just that. Now, Trump also stated that he is pushing a US peace plan to end the genocide in Gaza. And hopefully that peace plan would look a little better than the fake peace plan that he claims Armenia and Azerbaijan signed. But let's just talk about what Trump claims he's going to do through this plan. It would include an immediate ceasefire, which Israel has shown over and over again it has no intention of doing. A gradual Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. Let's all pause for laughter. Israel's not going to do that. The release of all hostages, which Hamas has offered to do over and over again in return for a permanent ceasefire. Israel has not signed on to that. And an interim government for Gaza without Hamas. It would instead be headed by Arab and Muslim majority countries in the region. Now that sounds amazing. That's not gonna happen. So he can go ahead and promise everything that he wants to promise. He's gonna claim whatever he wants to claim. But nothing will change unless the United States government stop borrowing money to then send over to Israel so they can buy American bombs to slaughter people and steal more land. He's not gonna stop facilitating that. So as long as he continues that whole process, Israel will do as it pleases. Because as Tucker Carlson has said, well, I don't want to put words in his mouth. Let's remember what Tucker Carlson said recently.
Bibi's running around, this is a fact, I'm not guessing about this, because I talked to people he said it to, is running around the Middle East, his region, and his own country, and telling people point blank, just stating it, I control the United States, I control Donald Trump. He's saying that, and again, I'm not guessing at all. That's a fact, and I dare them to say that's not true, because it is true, and they know it's true.
I agree wholeheartedly with what Tucker Carlson said there, and it is humiliating. Go ahead, Cenk.
Anna, I also have a source, and they said in essence the same thing, and they said that Netanyahu is basically bragging / threatening other countries by saying that he has America, quote, in his back pocket. And so that's somebody telling me that that's what Netanyahu is saying to other world leaders. Basically, you better not disagree with me because I could do anything I want to you and America will back me up because they're in my back pocket.
Isn't it humiliating to see a welfare state that relies on American money to brag about how we're in his back pocket? Isn't that humiliating? And that we don't have political leaders who look out for us and protect us from that, humiliation on the international stage day in and day out? Yeah. Anyway.
So now I want to tell you the rhetorical trick that's being played in regards to the West Bank. The Israelis are not officially annexing the West Bank, so Trump can say, see, I stopped them, right? But what they just did was they gave final approval for expanding settlements in Area E1. Why that's so important is because that splits the West Bank in half and makes a Palestinian state in the West Bank nearly impossible. They know that, they brag about it, and so they're basically saying, haha, we just took every chance of a Palestinian state off the board. We absolutely obliterated Gaza, and now we split the West Bank in half. So whatever is official is not as relevant as what is happening on the ground, de facto. So that's why there's a lot of tricks here. But the bottom line is, and another report by Ken Klippenstein that we covered a little while ago, the US, when the other nations take action in the United Nations and say we recognize Palestine, has talking points written by Israel. Basically, I don't know that they're literally written by Israel, but they're identical to Israel's propaganda, and they go around bullying and threatening every country and saying, "You better not recognize Palestinians. You think they're human? You think they should have the same rights as every other human? No way! Our bloodthirsty partners in Israel. We've given them $300 billion, now we've given them a genocide, and it's not enough. You all have to bow down." So I guess Netanyahu was right. He does have us in his back pocket. So that nonsense tough guy talk from Trump, he's a little doggy. He follows whatever Netanyahu ordered him to do. And by the way, this is not partisan at all, not 1%. Joe Biden was also a dog of Israel and did everything he was commanded to do. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Well, no one can.
Right.
He allowed for the incoming administration, the Trump administration, to inherit what's happening in Gaza. So I just want to note a few other things. Netanyahu is visiting with Trump in the White House on Monday. I mean, how many visits have happened already? This guy comes and visits the Anyway, President Netanyahu, we should start calling him at this point. Now, Israel is gonna do what it wants to do anyway. Again, as long as we continue supplying their weapons, they will do whatever they want. So the Israeli government and its officials are calling on Netanyahu to formally annex the West Bank. That has been the message that we've been sharing with you all over and over again. Israel's communications minister, for instance, wrote the following: "Sovereignty is not just the most proper Zionist response, but also this is simply our land, the land of our forefathers. We may declare today full sovereignty. We must declare today full sovereignty now, and don't settle for less." That's Shlomo Karhi, the Israeli communications director, just saying that land that doesn't belong to the Israelis should belong to the Israelis. Anyway, on Sunday, Itamar Ben-Gvir, one of the other Israeli terrorists in the Israeli government and is the Israeli Minister of National Security, made a similar comment. Here's what he wrote on X: "The recognition by Britain, Canada, and of a Palestinian state as a reward for the murderers demands immediate countermeasures, the immediate application of sovereignty in Judea and Samaria, and the complete crushing of the Palestinian Terror Authority." You know, I have to say, the one thing that I find super fascinating is that anytime after October 7th, if anyone tried to make an accurate statement, putting that horrific day in context, to speak of the evils that have been carried out for decades by the Israeli government against the Palestinian people, what you would hear over and over again from defenders of Israel is, "You can't, no, how dare you? Or you're justifying the attack." That doesn't justify what happened on October 7th. Okay, fair enough. But then how do you use October 7th over and over again to carry out endless atrocities, not just in Gaza, but also the West Bank and Lebanon and Yemen and Iran and Iraq and Tunisia? I mean, all the different countries sovereign countries that have been effectively bombed and attacked by the Israelis since October 7th.
Okay, so now my frustration with American media as usual. They act like we have no leverage. The leverage is the most obvious thing in the world, the money we give them. But that's off the table. It's not, you can't consider it. Why? Why can't I? You want to talk about sovereignty, brother? Do we have sovereignty? Does America have sovereignty, or are we the dogs of Israel? Because the American press treats it like, how dare you? Demanding American sovereignty is anti-Semitism. You owe Israel, right? That's what they say every time. And they say, when I say, why do we owe Israel? Anti-Semite. I don't hate anybody, brother, but I don't like us serving a different country. I didn't immigrate to Israel, I immigrated to America. So okay, so let's talk about Biden. Biden gave, our American government gives $3.8 billion every year to Israel because we owe them. I don't know why we owe it. $310 billion we've given them so far. So on top of that, Biden gave him another $18 billion. He's like, oh, great job on the genocide. Murder more Palestinians. By the way, I'm such a sweet old man. Oh, I'm such a nice guy, Joe Biden. Tell everybody I'm such a sweet guy. Murder the Palestinians with our money. Here, shut up, an American. Go back to work. You haven't worked enough for Israel. They haven't killed enough Palestinians yet. And Trump comes in, oh, I'm anti-war. I'm gonna solve this, right? And what did he do? 7 billion more? 6? You guys even know this? Because our press, they barely even talk about it. And 3/4 of the articles say, oh, Israel got a new arms deal. They're buying arms from us. And then you look into it, you have to research, and then you look into it. They're not buying any arms. We're giving them the 7 billion, and then they buy arms with the 7 billion we just gave them. So no, it's a total robbery. They're totally taking it from us. But the media says, shush, go back to work for Israel. And if you don't, you're an anti-Semite. Okay, no, you guys hate Palestinians. Our press, our politicians, deeply racist against Arabs, think that their lives are worthless. But if you say in Israel, oh, precious Israeli, the most important people in the world. Oh, you slaughtered 20,000 Palestinian kids? Who cares? They're just Arabs. Bunch of sick racists. Judea and Samaria is the theoretical biblical reference to the West Bank and Gaza Strip. That is Ben-Gvir and many other Israeli politicians saying, yeah, well, of course we're gonna steal that land. We're gonna rob it from the Palestinians who live on it now, and we're gonna slaughter them, and we're gonna ethnically cleanse them. He's a literal convicted terrorist enabler in Israel. It's a terrorist government. They've done 66 October 7ths, but yet we all have to go and work another shift. Go work again, go back to the mines, go back to the assembly lines, because they need more money. They need to take money out of your pocket. That's a literal fact. That is a literal fact. And the press will lie to you and say, oh, you cannot say that fact. You need to shut up if you're an American. If you complain about this country taking your money, then you're a hateful person. And we're gonna ruin your life. We're gonna call you an anti-Semite. We're gonna say you hate people. And we're gonna destroy you on behalf of Israel. But no, Israel has no control here. That's just a trope, no control. So I wanna apologize to Palestinians and Palestinian leadership or whoever in the protests, etc. Because I said in the beginning, they shouldn't say from the river to the sea. That statement is from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Doesn't talk about murdering Jews, they made that up. It turns out everything from Israel is talking point lie, okay? Who actually said from the river to the sea, we're gonna take it all? Benjamin Netanyahu. And press, did you say anything about it? Cable news, did you call him a terrorist? Did you say he was saying something terrible? Every time they say Judea and Samaria, that means we're gonna ethnically cleanse the Palestinians and steal their land. Did you say anything about it, press? You call them terrorists? Do you call them unacceptable? Are we doing congressional hearings? No, precious, beloved Israel on a mantle. No one's allowed to criticize. All of you Americans, you all are hateful. You hate Jews, they say. No, brother. You tell Americans that they hate Jews one more time, and I'm super worried you're gonna turn it into a reality. What are you doing? So now we have to give infinite money to Israel, and Trump, what a liar, what a liar. He was robbing you of $13 billion to pay for a genocide because Miriam Adelson and her late husband gave him over $300 million in bribes. And if you're an American media and you don't call it bribes, you're a liar. Oh no, it just, she did it for general charity. She did it because she loves the American people. Not because, as she told Donald Trump, you will follow my orders on Israel. And Donald Trump has loyally followed Adelson's orders on Israel. Those are facts, but the American press will say, no, those are all true, 100% true, but you're not allowed to say it. And if you say the truth, we will bury you on behalf of Israel. And our politicians will bury you on behalf of Israel. I'm sick of Israel stealing our sovereignty and making our politicians work for them and not us. And I'm sick of them brutally slaughtering the Palestinians and then saying, I have a moral right to do it. It's my land, that's why I murdered them and took it. No, they're disgusting terrorists. That is a fact. And I think I'm sickened by the American politicians and the American press. Sickened by them. And they're all deeply racist against Arabs and deeply bigoted against Muslims. And they revel in it. I loathe them. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.